Go ahead.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Pin High Podcast presented by Pin High Media. This week we're doing 3 words to describe the Mexico Open because that's all you really need. We're talking Wells Fargo picks and we're talking the Tiger Woods Joe LaCava breakup. So let's get into it.
This is Jordan Spieth here, and
This is the Pin High Podcast.
All right, let's get inside the ropes. Start the episode. Um, 3 words to describe the Mexico Open. I mean, I know we had Tony Finau take it. It's his fifth on
I
tour,
think it's his sixth win on tour.
sixth win on tour. Um, I'm gonna go. I have 2 3 word.
Go ahead, because I don't even have one right now. So,
Because I have 2 horse race.
okay.
Kind of was towards the end. It was Finau and Rom, and at the end of the day, it was always Finau and Rom. No matter how many people, snuck their way in like Akshay, which brings me to my second one: resort course horse.
Yeah, I was thinking something on the lines of resort course.
Yeah,
Tony
resort
Tony
course
wins him
horse.
at resort courses.
No, Akshay.
Or Akshay, sorry. Akshay plays well at resort courses. Tony
Well, I guess
does
Tony
well at
does
resort
too.
courses too. He's won the Mexico Open, the Puerto Rico Open. So,
So maybe,
um,
and Victor does too. So maybe there's some correlation that we need to start putting together between those three. Like at places where one of them has won, we need to start looking at the other two as well.
yeah, I guess. I wonder what it
There
is.
will be another time this season where I think we can use Akshay. I don't know how many more resort courses are left though.
Yeah, and that result will get him into a lot more events, like going to the rest of the season. So, yeah, I think there could be a spot to use him. But yeah, resort course definitely for Akshay and maybe Tony Finau as well. Uh, don't really have 3 words to describe it. I would say attack of the bees. I don't know if you saw that when the
Sure.
the bees came through and everybody had to hit the deck. That was like the first time I've ever seen that in a golf course. That was pretty funny. That was kind of
I
the
feel like
image
at
of
the
the
same
week.
time though, it was weirdly familiar. It was like almost like I was getting deja vu. I don't know why,
Yeah, maybe I don't know, but
but
that was
yeah,
that was
no,
kind of what happened this week. I feel like.
it was a bomber's paradise this weekend. You look at the leaderboard and you're like, oh, okay, Finau, Rom, Akshay, Will Gordon, Cam Champ. Um, I mean, I know the guy that we picked for office football pool, Hoygaard, didn't put up the best start. He still finished like T33, which is like fine.
Yeah,
Um,
it's all right.
the
Brandon Wu,
Bombers were
2 years in a row.
yeah,
Brandon Wu at this golf course for some reason.
the Bombers were out to play,
They
just like we
were,
predicted.
and for some reason in these like shortened fields, like Eric Cole is always near the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean
like he's just having a good
he's like a
season.
mid-tour legend, and not that this is a mini tour field, but in a lesser field, someone like Eric Cole kind of maybe spotlight's taken off him, and he can just play.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you had Jimmy Walker with the hot start, didn't quite finish it
Jimmy
off, but
Walker's on a heater this year.
which
Before
is kind of
before
out of nowhere.
before this week and before the week before Harbortown, he was still like for Jimmy Walker, who used to miss every cut by like 10 strokes for a while there. He's been putting up like T40s, T30s, like been having a solid season even before all this like media attention that came with the contention at Harbortown.
Yeah, I don't know. Some guys just find it later on. Like they had it earlier in their careers, and then something clicks, and they're ready to go. So I do like seeing guys who fall off a little bit come back. So it's good to see.
Yeah, there's always a couple of those every year. I'm trying to think of what last year's version is. Maybe next year's version will be Ches Reavie.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Ches Reavie was never really on top, but
Except he never
he won
won.
a couple events, right?
Fair. Jimmy Walker won the PGA Championship
Yeah.
in what 2011?
So I
Something
mean,
like that?
Yeah, I wonder who that's gonna be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it wasn't the worst golf, I guess. You kind of like in these events to see your guys reach the top of the leaderboard. So um, Rom Finau kind of battling it down. That was the best way to go. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's it for the Mexico Open. I mean, kudos for Rom after winning the Masters, going back to Mexico to defend. So
Yeah. And, we talk about a bomber's paradise in Mexico. It's going to be, at least the leaderboard is going to kind of reflect the same this weekend at Wells Fargo.
yeah, I would think so as well. Obviously, much stronger field. You're in a elevated event this week, which is nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the Wells
Boots
Fargo.
will
I
be
don't know
on the
about you.
ground.
That's right. Pat's gonna be there.
I'll be there on Saturday, um, taking a last minute trip to North Carolina. We're going to be all over North Carolina playing Duke's course in Durham.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to be in Charlotte for Quell Hollow, and then I'll be in the old Vietnam, as some might call it.
Yeah, some might call it. But yeah, that sounds like a good
You
weekend.
just call it.
Sounds like a really good weekend. Uh,
Yeah,
is this
yeah.
your? Have you been? You've been to the Wells Fargo, right?
I have not been to the
Oh, you
Wells
haven't.
Fargo. Why would I have been to the Wells Fargo?
I don't know. Maybe you were doing an event there. I don't know. Maybe not.
No, I have. So I was talking to somebody the other day. I was like, this is gonna be my first PGA Tour event since it was gonna be my first like regular season PGA Tour event as a spectator. Because I've been to
U.S.
Bethpage for the
Open. Yeah.
2019 uh, PGA Championship. I've been to Shinnecock for the 2018 U.S. Open, and then I've been to Arnold Palmer working, Byron Nelson working, BMW Championship working, kind of Ryder Cup working. So Wells Fargo will be um, the first regular season one, and it's still an elevated event. So I am excited.
Yeah, is a special event. Uh, the thing is it going to be Max Homa's year again? Because this is an event that he seems to own.
Well, I don't know. I feel like Max, when he's won it, hasn't really had the expectations. I randomly came across um, last year's like DraftKings pricing for
Okay.
the Wells Fargo,
Yeah.
and okay, so here are two DraftKings prices for you. I think like either 9,900 or 10,100. I want to say like 9,900 and 8,600. One of them is Corey Connors. One of them is Max Homa.
Is it? Well, it's probably the opposite of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, Max Homa was 8,600 and Corey Connors was like 9,900 or in that range. And I remember I saw that the other day. I was like, what the? And it just seems like Max performs when it's not necessarily expected, and going into this week, I don't want to say it's expected because I feel like for some reason, from what I've seen, he actually is somewhat flying under the radar for somebody who's won the event twice. But that might be because Rory's won it 3 times, or Jason Day's won it too. Um, so it'll be interesting to see which it is, because Max does thrive in situations where he's flying a little bit under the radar.
Yeah, I definitely. He hasn't been the hottest as of late, so I don't know. Going in the Quail Hollow could be a Max Homa week,
He's
but
been
I don't know.
he's been not great recently, um, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean another
Miscut
guy
it
that
for Team Homikawa.
yeah, another guy that owns this golf course is Rory McIlroy. 2 wins here, I think. Maybe 3 wins here actually.
Great.
Yeah, I mean Rory coming off the off weeks. I guess he didn't play after the Masters, coming off the bad Masters. I wonder how he's gonna bounce back this week.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just saw the other day Jay Monahan said that he's not getting the $3 million from the last $3 million from his PIP because he skipped the RBC.
Correct.
So, I mean, what is that to Roy McIlroy? Really nothing. But he cited some mental health issues. So I don't know if that's like a throwaway excuse or if it's real. Who's to say? A professional athlete, has their reasons. But another thing that I've been looking at is that there have been some guys who played very well at the President's Cup that are going to be in play this weekend with Spieth, Homa, and Cameron Young.
Yeah, Cameron Young was the name I was waiting for you to say when you mentioned that. I do
Mhm.
really like him this week. I also do kind of like him for the U.S. Open later this year. Don't ask me why, but he just kind of fits it. But yeah, Cameron Young, sneaky good. Surprise. Well, not even sneaky good. He just is very good. It's sneaky that he hasn't had a win, which is, it's coming,
And this
right?
kind of feels like a place to get your first win, even though it's like an event and like a prestigious course.
Yeah, it feels like it's coming for him. Like he's knocking on the door at every event basically at this moment, and we're just waiting for that win. So I do like him. And again, you said Bomber's Paradise. This guy is a bomber in all sense of the word. So yeah, I do really like Cameron Young this week to get his first win. Again, also like him for the U.S. Open, but
So yeah, I guess it'll come down to that for whether we want to pick him this week. I don't think that should be the reason why we don't pick
no,
him
there's
this week.
plenty of money this week.
Still an
Like
elevated
yeah,
event. Yeah, it's a lot
exactly.
of money. Um, Another name I want to bring up is Victor Hovland, but at the same time, I saw on Twitter, I forget who tweeted it. Someone was like, Victor Hovland at the end of the day can't close a door. So maybe we'll go with Cameron Young.
Maybe I do like Cameron Young. I think he's at like 20-1 right now too. Like if you're looking to put a little bit on somebody to win, Cameron Young does kind of look like that guy with the good value.
Sure. I mean, why not? I will. I'll put that into office football pool when we get off here. But
Yeah,
I feel
so
like I'm confident about that, and that was a quick
yeah, I'm into
little
that.
thing there.
I mean, it didn't quite work out last week with the quick everybody on the same page, but I do
But that
like
was
it.
Nikolai Højgaard. We're talking about
Yeah,
Cameron Young,
yeah.
so I think it's
Understood.
a little bit different.
Now, I mean, one guy we didn't mention, Patrick Cantlay, new caddy on the bag this week. Old friend Joe LaCava caddying for Patrick Cantlay, and we thought, he's looped for Cantlay a little bit in the past in a fill and role, but Cantlay broke up with his caddy, and apparently this is full time. Joe LaCava asked Tiger if he wanted to, if he was able to go full time somewhere, because obviously Tiger's not going to be playing for the foreseeable future, and he's going to be on a limited schedule anyway. And he's going full time to Pat Cantlay, and I think he picked a pretty good guy to go full time for.
What do you think of Pat Cantlay not asking Tiger if it was okay to poach him?
I mean, he probably should have, right? But I don't know. Joe obviously went to Tiger, and Tiger was for it. It must have
Yeah,
been It must have been a little bit on the loose that Joe was looking for a full time gig once Tiger got his other surgery, and it's been a
and
couple
that was
years
just
now
the
since
domino
Joe's
that
been
fell.
been a couple years now since Joe's been a regular. Just because that's how it's been with Tiger. I mean, we had him on the podcast. He loves caddying. It's kind of the thing he wants to do, and he wants to be out there every week. So it does make sense, and I think it's kind of known that he did want to go full time at some point somewhere else.
I mean, Cantlay's the second favorite this week, I believe. I think it goes Rory at like 8-1, and then Cantlay at 12.
Yeah, I wonder what his record is like under Joe caddying for him, because I think it's been a couple times. I think it's been 2 or 3 times that Joe's caddied for him in the past. I wonder how he's done.
I don't know. It has happened before. You said.
Yeah, he has caddied for Cantlay before in a fill and roll.
Is it possible to look that up?
I don't know, maybe, but I guess good thing is like they don't really like he's done it before, so he kind of knows the golfer a little bit already. He doesn't need to learn the whole, go from square one again. He knows Cantlay. He's caddied for him before. Must be comfortable in the position, so it should be a pretty seamless transition, I think, for the two of them.
So the last time was at Liberty National in 2021 for the Northern Trust, and Cantlay put up a T11.
Solid.
So now that was a cut event. So that's solid. I like Cantlay to compete this week. I mean, it's Patrick freaking Cantlay. What was weird for me um was seeing Goldman Sachs on Joe LaCava's
Joe
hat.
LaCava. Yeah, that is a
Yeah,
little weird. You're used to the Nike or the Tiger. Yeah, what a weird Patrick
yeah,
Cantlay, the
I,
king of old man sponsors too. So
yeah. He has Delta. He has
I mean, if you looked at Patrick Cantlay and you looked at how many sponsors you have, I don't think you would say he's the number 4 golfer in the world. Like, it's just like you wouldn't say, oh, he needs all these sponsors. You probably would think he's like in the like 100s, like just getting any sponsor that he could get. But
what brand of apparel does he wear?
that's a great question. The fact that you see
I've
all
never
the
seen a logo other than like Delta and Goldman Sachs on him. Is it FootJoy?
Boss, where's
Oh, I
Boss Golf?
did
Yeah,
know
I have
that.
seen that.
I
Yeah,
did know that. I also didn't know Boss was a clothing company, though. I thought that was just another one of his sponsors.
it is the clothing company of Patrick Cantlay, which is
Okay.
interesting. Yeah,
What a weird combo.
yeah, for sure. Um, but yeah, he definitely has a good chance this week. I think. A lot of people have
Any uh,
been off of Cantlay lately just because of the slow play, but
any any like flyers out there you think that could contend?
it's a good question.
I weirdly have like this feeling about like this year's Keegan Bradley being Keith Mitchell.
Yeah, he does kind of fit that profile of the Keegan Bradley type. Uh, yeah, and
Yeah.
Keith Mitchell's played some good golf this year as well, so
So I just
I
I
could see
don't know
that
what
coming
it
out of
is.
nowhere. I mean,
I have a good feeling
I've
about Mitchell.
mentioned him in the last major, but Gary Woodland kind of sticks out to me a little bit. His approach game is just like so good.
He weirdly at like tough scoring conditions like this year at API he played well. So yeah, I,
Yeah,
I
I
like
think he's
that
like
as well.
65 to 1 maybe. So yeah, I don't know. I guess
It's actually
that
not as good as I thought it would be.
takes dark horse. He's been good this year. He just has like his putting's not great. So it's kind of if he has a hot putting week, he's up in at the top half of the leaderboard, even in the top 10, top 20. So
That's kind of like Max, honestly, because Max is always going to be sticking approaches, and his driving's like pretty damn good. It's just whether his like short game's there, and when it is, which is like pretty often nowadays, like he has a shot at winning.
yeah,
But I think recently his putting's been down. I kind of want to look that up real quick. I haven't taken a look at his data golf anytime recently for some reason. Um, Sometimes I just like fall off a little bit on that. But yeah, no, his putting lost a stroke at Zurich, half stroke at RBC, was basically even at the Masters, and that's like been his bad stretch of golf. So yeah, it's
yeah,
been
the
the
last
putter.
three.
It's been the putter. His around the green's been like maybe a little bit worse than usual, but it's never. I mean, like it's not usually like insane anyway. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be that putting.
yeah, no, maybe a week off going to a course that he likes. Maybe
Off the
it's him
tee
getting
hasn't
back on.
been amazing. Off the tee hasn't been amazing either. He really just like overall is not playing very well.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy because had such a good stretch like the early
During
half
that
of the year.
stretch on Get Data Golf, you see a whole lot of green, but it doesn't
Yeah,
even have to be. It doesn't even need the good, like, like a great around the green, um, like strokes gained. It's really just his putting and his approach. Like when those two click together, he like wins or comes very damn close.
yeah. I'm excited to see him play this week. I think he's gonna play pretty well. I don't know if he's gonna win, but I just feel it. I feel like he's gonna come back pretty strong this week.
Well, all right. Anything else we want to touch on before we get in the clubhouse?
Not really. I think that was a pretty seamless pick this week, which is
Yeah,
sometimes worrying, but sometimes not.
yeah. But yeah, on that note, let's get in the clubhouse. Um, let's talk about the best way to view a PGA Tour tournament now that I'm going this week. My game plan is to kind of just like walk the course in the morning because I want to see Quail Hollow, and then post up in the afternoon.
Yeah, I do like posting up. I mean, depends on how the weather is, what hole you're on, but if you could
Supposed to
find a
be a little bit
spot,
rainy.
if you could find a spot where you could see like 2 or 3 holes at the same time, like maybe a tee box, a green, maybe a fairway or something. I don't know. Like that's probably a good place to post up. It doesn't have to be on 18, obviously. So I like that idea. I do like walking around the course in the morning is a good game plan. You get to see the course. Like you feel like you were actually seen everything, and then you can find a good spot to post up. And then maybe move around to another post up spot and whatever. Just yeah, kind of see how it goes. But
I
the
want to
first time we went
follow.
to an event, we were following, and it just I don't know if that worked out super well.
Well, because we were like young and we were trying to follow like big guys at a major championship.
Yeah,
It's gonna be Saturday, so it will be packed. But like, I feel like if we're in the morning, like following like a Corey Connors or somebody who's like kind of like further back, not that Corey Connors can be further back, he might win the thing. Um, then it won't be a bad crowd.
yeah, definitely check out the leaderboard, and if you are gonna follow, like find a group that you might like to follow that might not be too busy. So
So we have tickets to hospitality.
let's go.
15T, 15's a par five, so that kind of sucks. Like, who cares about?
Get to see some guys rip some drives.
I guess like,
Par
but it
threes are
has
fun
food,
at those
it
events.
has food and drink. Yeah, I was thinking about going to like the par three that's like 240 yards, trying to get some seating there, because I feel like that's just fun to watch a 240-yard par three. See some guys go left and right.
Yeah, that could be fun. Maybe get one in the crowd. Probably not, but
Maybe. You never know. 240-yard par three. That's crazy long.
when Charlie Hoffman went way right at us at Bethpage, we were just like standing right there.
But yeah, that was great. Speaking of Bethpage, I really do have to get my license soon. I keep saying I'm going to do it. I have
Like the paperwork.
I have the paperwork right here. I just need to fill it out and make an appointment. I feel like that's half the battle, printing out the paperwork.
Yeah, definitely. Having to go for the appointment kind of blows, but it's what you got to do
Yeah,
if you
but it'll be worth it.
want to get the tee times.
Yeah, I gotta.
Max played the red
But yeah.
last week. Said it was
Oh
pretty
yeah,
nice. Yeah.
yeah, nice. I'm playing Sunday at the Duke University course in Durham. Looks pretty nice. I think there's like a resort right there, I guess, or like a hotel. Um, but I'm not really sure what my expectations are. I feel like the greens are going to be like really pure, which I'm not going to be used to.
Yeah,
Which might help me.
especially after our round on Sunday, in the pouring rain.
Oh yeah, I was trying to remember. That was bad.
Yeah, that was tough.
Nine
We
holes.
basically were like after at seventh hole it just started pouring out like crazy, and then
Yeah.
8 green was tough. 8 green was Trev was in a spot where he could hit the putter as hard as he can, and it like was never gonna get to the hole. So yeah, that definitely would have been suspended play.
I think I made 9 bogeys.
I played.
I think I
pretty
bogeyed
awful.
every single hole, which is just like, I mean, you don't feel like you're like playing bad, but you are. Like you're not playing
Yeah,
good.
I
You're
played
not like
pretty awful. I just like I'm not a good at in those conditions like ever. So tough. It was tough, but
I weirdly somehow held it together. I feel like I was still hitting good shots in the rain. Like when it started pouring on number 7, I hit a good shot. I was like, huh,
for me it's like
interesting.
wedge game. Like my wedge game just gets like all diggy, and like I just it goes pretty south. Uh,
It's hard to focus when there's water dripping from your cap. That's
right.
that's the thing for me.
Yeah, is what it is. I mean, we weren't expecting to play well or 18, so
Yeah.
works out, I guess.
But we really only have 2 more weeks until the PGA Championship. Next week's Byron Nelson, which is kind of like a event. Maybe KH Lee will go for the three-peat.
Maybe
which maybe we take KH Lee at that event.
chalk it up.
Chalk it up. Just chalk. I mean, it's just like a course. Like, I know it's a TPC, but maybe Siwoo.
Maybe Siwoo. Did we pick Siwoo already? Oh,
We did.
Yeah, we did pick Siwoo.
We did pick
at the
Siwoo.
QB or
Yeah.
the QB the match.
So now
play or whatever.
Siwoo and Tom Kim are gone from that pairing at the Zurich.
I mean, we had Top Kim earlier in the year, but yeah, we picked him the week he got cut, unfortunately, which was pretty bad. Yeah.
Tough. I feel like we may not, get in that top 80 this year. It's still possible. Still very much possible.
A couple winners
I
just
think
get hot.
Next year we'll have a much better chance because we know how to play throughout a season. This year we feel like we messed up at the beginning.
I think we saved too many guys to
We
this
did.
point. Yeah. And then we were trying to fit in those guys in events where maybe we shouldn't have been picking them, but yeah. You live and you learn.
All right. I think that's all for this week. We'll see you next week. Spoiler alert, we may pick KH Lee for the Byron Nelson, but
Maybe.
Still tune in to figure out what we decide. And Trevor will be back on next week. So enjoy the Wells Fargo.